Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR My Career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on Talladega Super Speedway, fresh off of Jeff Burton picking up the win last episode in Texas. Late in the going against Jimmie Johnson, Jeff Gordon with some issues plummets down the championship order as he's not even in the top 10 in the standings coming into today, as his teammate Jimmie Johnson in his second season is at the top of the board in the standings, as he looks to continue that here in a wild card race where anything can and likely will happen. Speaking of things happening, this weekend we had some news, early season news for the silly season. Hendrick Motorsports would announce Joe Nemechek in the number 25. He will be out of that ride at the end of the season. His replacement is to be determined, citing just not the performance they were expecting, so also known as he got fired. But his replacement is to be determined, and I mean, I myself would certainly fancy having an opportunity to drive for that team, but yeah, I mean, only time's going to tell on what's going to come from that, as Mark Martin actually puts it on pole here in Talladega over Elliott Sadler. Not been an incredible season for the Roush driver of Martin in that Viagra Ford, but he looks to have a nice run here today in Talladega. As we now come through to the grid Sunday afternoon, of course, you see Rusty Wallace is well prepared for this race. That, well, simply doesn't matter because it's Talladega. Doesn't matter really how fast your car is in the game. It's just going to be all about timing, pit stops as well. We saw in the first super speedway race of the season at Daytona in the 500 where Ricky Craven was able to pick up the win. We saw that, it really comes down to strategy and green flag pit stop cycles and stuff like that, and timing of cautions, of course. So it's going to be interesting. We start from the back of the field as we get ready to take the green flag here from Talladega. We're racing from Talladega Super Speedway. Lining up behind the number 49 of Ken Schrader, Martin and Sadler lead the field to the green flag here in this Geico 500 as we head down into turn number 1 to get the Lowe's Chevrolet Monte Carlo of Jimmie Johnson here just in front of myself. By the way, Happy New Year. This will be going live on January 1st, so hope you all have a safe and Happy New Year as we continue on here. Now immediately going to jump up to the outside behind the number 12 of Ryan Newman, make it 3 wide down the back straightaway. Newman coming off of an early DNF in Texas. It's not been a great season as well for Ryan Newman. He is looking to turn things around as we continue off into turn number 3 on the outside of the number 10 of Johnny Benson here as well. Now we're kind of a lone wolf up here, hoping to just get some draft, hoping someone will maybe jump up behind me, maybe the 49 of Ken Schrader, which fortunately for me, he would actually jump up here and get connected with my back bumper, so we have a little bit of help here. We won't lose the draft. That's the one concern with this car, being a 4-star car. It is hard to hold the draft if you're at the back of a group, so you have to have somebody behind you, meaning I am going to work extra hard if I'm towards the back of the field to make sure I've got someone behind me at all times. Overall, not a bad start here in Talladega. It's actually a bit of a moment right there, a bit of a checkup. I wasn't really ready for it, but we hit the back of Ryan Newman. Fortunately, nothing goes wrong there, and we continue on here with some help from Schrader. We would eventually get down to the inside, though, and this is where the progress starts here. Starting lap 3 to the inside of Kenny Wallace. In front of us, you got Steve Park, Todd Bodine, fellow Rookie of the Year candidate of Casey Mears. Rookie of the Year battle right now, we are leading. By the way, we have had a stellar season so far with a lot of help, of course, from strategy and caution timing, but we know things can change. It's a long season. I mean, 10 races in, if you get to race 10, there's still a lot that can happen in the other 26 races, so it's way too early to make any assumptions as we got trouble in front of us now. Coming to lap 4, big crash as we head down towards turn 1. Several drivers, Stewart, Newman, Labonte, we get involved as well. Caution is out. Harvick's around. I believe he's the root cause of it. What just happened? Watch the middle of your screen as we go to the replay. It was the 29 of Kevin Harvick that brought out the caution right here in the tri-oval. Around he goes off the front bumper of Martin and several drivers. Jeremy Mayfield's in it, Reigns and Labonte, Newman, Stewart. I mean, big incident here. and we would all stay out. Harvick's day is over. We did not actually pick up damage because the caution came up before we hit anything, but the problem for us now is we're probably going to take off really slow, I would imagine. Yes, we are going to take off a bit slow, but we're not the only one. We've got other drivers with big trouble here, and we're going to pull out a line. Now this we will get away with because of what's happening. Tony Stewart can't go, and we're right behind the number 12 of Ryan Newman, so I'm up to P34. Wow, voice crack, but we're going to line up behind Ryan Newman, and the problem is we are going to watch that main pack right there drive away. So now, on lap 7 of this race, we are going to be in a bit of a free fall, and we would have to rely on Joe Nemechek, who just got announced he's getting fired out of that 25 at the end of the season already, very early in the season, to make a decision like that. But obviously that tells you that Hendrick is lacking confidence in what he can do. I would eventually let him go because he was not actually pushing me, so therefore we're going nowhere. So I would let Nemechek go by, and I was hoping that either Johnny Benson or whoever's behind him, which I believe is Steve Park in that number 1 DEI Monte Carlo, hopefully he'll be able to help me. So Benson didn't want to stick with me. Finally, Steve Park's going to connect to my rear bumper. He is going to push me forward here as we are well off the main pack of cars. I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 seconds, so we are going to need a caution, unfortunately, and I'm hopeful that that caution is going to come sooner rather than later before we get to any green flag pit stop cycle. As we come to lap 11 at this point, we're not far away from a green flag pit stop cycle. We're probably going to be pitting lap 13, lap 14, somewhere in that area. Maybe not me, but the main pack, and obviously it's just, hoping for a yellow as Jeff Gordon currently leads the field down the back straightaway in towards turn number 3, as we're 7 seconds behind this main pack of cars at this point, so desperately needing that caution. Now, we saw the trouble already at the end of lap 3, so I am pretty confident we're going to get a yellow to help us out. And sure enough, actually, as we say it, we breathe it into existence. Andretti down the front straightaway loses a tire. Cautions out. That brings everybody back into the mix, including Tony Stewart, your defending champion, who just can't seem to catch a break this season. We're going to come in for 4 tires and fuel. We still actually had 5 laps of fuel left, so we definitely could have gone closer to like lap 17 or so. We gained 6 spots in the pits, a lot of pit stop shuffling with positions, and we get ourselves in a pretty competitive spot as we get ready to go back racing now in the top 30 on lap 14, approaching lap 15. Jeff Gordon leads the field back to the green. Now, Gordon's been all over the place. Of course, won the race in Bristol, shot up to the top of the standings, has a DNF in Texas with the engine failure, and plummets out of the top 10. That shows you how close the points are in the first handful of races we have had this season. And here he comes into Talladega. He's had a lot of success when it comes to Talladega Super Speedway, so do not write off Jeff Gordon when it comes to this race here. Of course, now I'm pretty confident he's going to be in the mix when it comes to, actually at the end of this race, which of course is 66 laps. We got plenty of racing here on the way. Now, of course, another thing, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been on an absolute roll when it comes to Talladega recently. Now, he has won, the last, 3 races at Talladega, spanning back to 2001 and through 2002. He is undefeated here in the last 3 trips at Talladega now, and he is aiming to go 4 in a row, I believe, here today as we head down this back straightaway now up into the top 20 by the time we have hit lap 16 in this race. So now everything's already changed, right? We're now all of a sudden entering the top half of the field. This is going to be a huge opportunity for us today. These are the type of races we circle at this Wood Brothers Racing team as races where we can not only get a lot of points, but maybe even compete for a victory. So we know that today we've got an opportunity to gain a bunch of points, and we have overperformed in this 21 car from the reasons I've already talked about, because of strategy and timing of cautions being pretty beneficial towards myself. And we have an opportunity where if we finish top 5 today, there's a realistic chance we could enter the top 5 in the standings. Now, reality, as the season goes on, will probably plummet, probably to 15th or so in the standings would be my early on guess, because we've had such a strong start to the season, I don't really see us falling much lower than that, but we definitely are not a top 10 in points driver, even if it looks like that early on in the season. A driver, I think I'm a championship caliber driver, but the team, the car itself, isn't that caliber of a race car necessarily in this 2003 season, but we are going to continue to work hard to get the best results possible for this Wood Brothers Racing team. Of course, having the privilege of driving for this iconic team, and not many people get to do that. So even though I will be completely honest, I mean, we are absolutely looking to jump out of this team as soon as possible and go to a better team if possible in the near future, but only time will tell. But I think we're doing a really good job right now kind of building our resume and saying, hey, look what I can do in this midfield team. I mean, bring me into a Hendrick Motorsports or a Roush or whatever it might be, maybe new teams that come up in the sport in the future, who knows. There has been some rumors actually that Red Bull is looking to actually get involved in NASCAR as a team, so that's something to maybe watch out for going into the future, but those are just simply rumors right now, so we'll have to wait and see if that actually comes into effect as we continue on here. Now heading down this front straightaway, we have entered the top 10 comfortably, and we're kind of settling in here now. We're behind the 88 of Dale Jarrett. I would then jump down behind the 9 of Bill Elliott. We know, of course, this will be his final season of full-time Cup Series competition. He is committed to doing some part-time racing over the next season or two, guaranteed, likely for the same team. Maybe not the number 9. His replacement yet to be announced in that number 9, but we'll wait and see what happens out of that now. But we know, of course, Elliott and Nemechek both will not be on the roster full-time next season, as we have now entered the top 3 off the front bumper of Dave Blaney. Now as we're alongside Mark Martin, we would pass him, and now our fuel lights on as we're behind the leader of Jerry Nadeau, and I actually got pushed out wide by Dave Blaney, who says I'm coming through. He's pitting alongside Nadeau, a bunch of drivers, so I would decide kind of last second. I was originally going to go another lap, but no, we're going to pit right here because there's a lot of cars pitting. Usually I don't want to pit with a lot of cars, but at a super speedway I do, because it just keeps you in that draft. So it's literally the only type of racetrack where I'll pit with the majority. As we come in for 4 tires and feel obviously no adjustments, the car drives fine. It's a super speedway, and we actually are going to win the race out of the pits here over Jerry Nadeau and others. So he is going to be now in position to push me, and we actually might be the net leader of this race. Mark Martin and others coming into the pits over the next lap or two. We're going to see everybody else come in, and we'll cycle through to wherever we do. But I think we are going to be, well, not leading anymore because the caution is out. And first through third's already in the pits. I'm not sure about Bodine, but it's a tire failure for Labonte, Bobby Labonte that is, and the caution flies. So we drop down to P4 for the restart. So everyone in the top 3 was able to complete their pit stop under caution except for Todd Bodine, who was in 4th, which is why I get to move up into the 4th position. So as we restart this race, we have got Roush on the inside here with Mark Martin and his rookie teammate of Greg Biffle, and on my front bumper here in P2 you got Terry Labonte, whose brother Bobby just brought out that caution there a few moments ago, and now we are in pushing position on this number 5 as we exit turn 2, heading down this back straightaway. So now looking to my inside there, you got that number 4 as well of Mike's gonna have a fantastic run as we continue on and continuing to keep ourselves in a favorable position. I'm very, very confident that we are going to be in a position to try and win this race. We're already nearly halfway through, as Mark Martin says, I'm out of here, I'm going to the back, and here comes that DuPont Monte Carlo Jeff Gordon into the conversation now. He of course got 1 win so far this season. We have yet to see a repeat winner this season. How about that? And I doubt we're going to see a repeat winner today. Super Speedway, Talladega, it's a favorable type of racetrack for anybody to pick up a win. You look at the likes of, say, Michael Waltrip, that's always in the mix when it comes to the Super Speedways in this era. I mean, in 2003, in real life, he won the Daytona 500. He didn't quite do the same in the game, but he won Talladega in 2003. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember if it was the spring or the fall race, but I feel like he won the Talladega race in real life as well that year. So could he maybe repeat history in real life? That would be kind of cool. But nonetheless, we actually continue to have some help from behind from the 41 of Casey Mears, and he was pushing me right on forward to the lead of this race here from Talladega as we exit turn 4 now, and once we hit the stripe, it'll be halfway through this race, and we are going to be leading at the halfway point here in this Wood Brothers Motorcraft Ford Taurus as we roll through the tri-oval into the start-finish line. Lap led for this number 21 Wood Brothers team as we continue to just kind of cover the inside line. Now, the problem for me is this. So we don't have the quickest cars, so when we get out to the lead, it's really easy for me to get overtaken because the cars behind us in different lanes, the outside lane for example, can build up these really big runs because my car lacks speed. So it gets really difficult to block unless you want to like throw a ridiculous block, and I don't really like to race that way. So that is going to be a problem that we are going to see all race long. Now, once I lose the lead, of course, the 41 whoever's behind me will latch back onto my rear bumper and really start pushing, so then it kind of goes back into my favor. But as soon as I'm leading, well, you see the results now. Again, I mean, Mears actually jumped to the middle, and actually Rusty Wallace last second jumps up to the middle. So just like that, we're going backwards now as Nadu comes through on my outside. Greg Biffle right into my back bumper. Big slam into the back bumper from fellow Rookie of the Year contender in that number 16 is Rusty Wallace out in front here as he tries to end that winless streak he's on, as we're to the inside of him now just a few moments later on lap 36, and we're back to the lead of this race. So it's going to be a big kind of back and forth here, I feel like, for any point that we're up front. And now you can see Matt Kenseth to the lead. Matt Kenseth, I feel like he's been on pole or front row for like half the races this season, but he's not been able to translate that into a win, and it's just not been a great season. It's not been a bad season by any means. It's just not been great for Matt Kenseth in that DeWalt Ford for Roush. As we got problems in the back there. Speaking of Roush, Kurt Busch was sideways, tire down, caution out, everybody into the pits. We only had 5 laps of fuel left in that number 21, so we'll all come in for 4 tires and fuel and get ready to go green. Labonte and Harvick, the 2 DNFs so far on the day, as we actually win the race out of the pit lane and retake the lead here from Talladega. That's crucial because if we started P2, we would have probably been going backwards, and now we're in the favorable position as we've got just 26 laps to go coming to the start-finish line. Feels like to me this race is going by really quick as you see the view from the grandstands, a fan perspective as we head down into turn number 1, leading the way in this number 21 Wood Brothers Ford, as we now actually open up a bit of a gap to the cars behind us of Nadu as well as Matt Kenseth as we head down this back straightaway and continue on. Here comes that number 01 rolling up in that Pontiac to my back bumper here within about a car length or so as we hit over 190 mile an hour. We're going to throw a bit of a block there, follow the 01 up the track, but as Rusty Wallace builds up a run on the bottom, we're going to now migrate down to the inside, and it wouldn't last long until, well, here comes Casey Mears with some help from the 88 of Dale Jarrett back into the conversation. But once again, as soon as I lose the lead, the guy that's not been thrilled with me lately, Rusty Wallace, is actually going to give me a nice shove and get to the lead. When it comes to super speedway racing, a lot of the time it doesn't matter who you're angry at, you got to do what helps you, and unfortunately for Rusty that means helping himself is also going to help me as we continue racing hard here from Talladega now with less than 25 laps to go as we cross the start finish line. And as well, how about Ken Schrader up here, and look at that, we just got destroyed on pace into turn number 1. Wallace even leaves me out, but fortunately we just continue to run this inside line. That's where I really feel the safest. I feel like if we lose or if we leave the bottom, it's going to be almost impossible for me to stay up front with the lack of speed overall in this number 21. And now Tony Stewart is up here in that Home Depot machine as well for Joe Gibbs Racing, actually helping me out as well as he's still looking for his first win on the season in those Home Depot colors now as we're going to pass Schrader and get to the back of the 01 of Jerry Nadu. But a contact there, I'm getting pushed from the 20, we hit him, we send Nadu spinning into the inside wall, big hit there on the right front. Caution is going to come out. That is absolutely not what I was intending, and the caution flies, and surprisingly everybody is going to stay out. I do not want to start from the back of the pack, so we're going to stay out as well. Not the intentions, absolutely not the intentions that I had right there racing with Jerry Nadu, and we owe him a very large apology. Now, we have been kind of going after these, kind of veteran racers, and, we roughed up Rusty Wallace a few times, and now we just completely wrecked Jerry Nadeau. I don't think they're going to take a very big liking to me after that now, as we're kind of early on in our rookie season, building up a little bit of a reputation. No one's really spoken out against us yet, but I feel like a moment like that could kind of change things. We're not going to know until the start of next episode if any drivers have anything to say about it, but I do have some concerns. That was, not good. I mean, I can at least recognize that. I mean, I was getting pushed from the 20. It was just kind of an awkward moment where I'm getting pushed by him. I hit the back to the 0-1. And yeah, I mean, it just turned him around, unfortunately. So we continue on, though, and we're down to P10 here as John Andretti, and actually as well the 9 of Bill Elliott's going to take us 3 wide. So now I've been forced 3 wide to the outside as we come through this tri-oval, but I've still got the 20 of Tony Stewart here on my back bumper, and I trust Tony Stewart in pushing us, but he would get separated, and we would jump down to the inside as we've got Dale Jr., who's trying to continue to keep this Talladega streak alive as we roll through this tri-oval to the inside of the number 10 of Benson, and unfortunately myself and Earnhardt would get disconnected as well, and we were just kind of hovering around this 10th to 12th place area for the next few laps now, as we've got just 15 laps to go. We need, on a full tank of fuel, we can go 11 laps, maybe 12. So we got to pit basically on lap 56 or 55 to make it for sure. Well, 56 for sure. We can make it 55s maybe. So that was something I was keeping in mind, because here as we exit turn 4 on lap 52, we have got the leaders in and several drivers coming into the pits. Greg Biffle currently leading the way. They cannot make it. They can't even think about making it from there. So they're going to come in, and several drivers, Elliott, Mayfield, Gordon Jr., Johnson, Waltrip, I mean, Marlin, you name it, they're coming in. So a lot of big drivers pitting, and we are going to be following soon, but it's still too early to pit, in my opinion. So Matt Kenseth, as we got pushed to P2, he's going to be pitting. Todd Bodine, who is directly behind me, is pitting, and several more come in as myself and Terry Labonte stay out. Dale Jarrett, Ricky Craven, and we're now actually, they're slowing up for these cars exiting the pits while I am full speed ahead, so that's going to get me separated now, but I think this is going to help us and really hurt them. So we're going to pit this time. So if we pit coming to 55, we should be able to make it to the end of this race. It will be close, but we're going to pit right here at the end of 54, coming to 55. I didn't want to go any further because my concern was a caution coming out, and then I would get sent to the back of the field, basically, because everyone else could stay out likely. So we come in, we get the 4 tires, and we'll wait and see where we cycle out here. We're going to be all on our own. We've got no help. That is the one trade-off of staying out longer, but I think the advantage we have is we can make it. We got 12 laps to go, and it's 12 laps of field, so we could actually maybe stretch it to 13. But we are still leading, by the way. But Matt Kenseth in P2 and a few other cars, they're going to have a lot more speed than I do, heading down this back straightaway, and I am not going to be able to defend that, so we're just going to have to stay out of the way. I'm going to stay against the double yellow line, and there they go. Kenseth, Jack Sprague's going to take the lead. Johnny Benson as well. So we drop down to P4, and into turn 3, I get picked up by Todd Bodine, coincidentally the driver that was pushing me before the green flag pit stop cycle. So we still manage a P5 or just top 5 in general running position as we come to just 11 laps to go, and now we know for sure we can make it, and I am 99% certain that there's no one. Well, I guess if you can stretch it to 13 laps, maybe there's a world where Matt Kenseth and those guys that pit with Kenseth just before I did, they might be able to make it to the end. And speaking of Matt Kenseth, we pass him, so there's maybe a world where they can make it, but we know we for sure can make it here, as we are now up to P2 off the front bumper of Bodine and running down Johnny Benson. It's not even going to be a contest. Down this back straightaway towards turn 3, we're going to blow by him and take over the lead with less than 10 laps to go here in Talladega. We have got a very real chance to win this race here today and be a Rookie Cup Series winner, as we're coming up on the back of Elliott Sadler, who actually gets hit with the Heat 5 glitch of being a ghost car. He's going to go a lap down, but you see how separated things are all the way till, yeah, I mean, we're running like 20th when things start to get packed up right there. So there is a pack growing in the background, but I don't think they're going to be able to get to the front runners here. Speaking of front runners, how about Kyle Petty pushing Johnny Benson forward now? So I drop back to P3. We are racing really hard up here. There's about 7 drivers up here in the conversation fighting really hard now, as Johnny Benson again, well, He jumps up to the outside. We get help again from Todd Bodine to go back to the lead of this race as we continue to set a really, really good pace here now as we come to lap 60 now, and we are approaching the final 6 laps of racing, and the battles continue now. Kenseth's coming through with help from the 49 of Schrader. Kenseth kind of fades down in front of me, then he thinks better of it, goes back up the racetrack. You got Sterling Marlin coming up here in the conversation, your Atlanta winner, as I got now Jack Sprague behind me. So I'm just waiting at this point. I'm like, pit stops for some of these guys have to be coming at any lap at this point. I feel like the 17 of Kenseth and the drivers that pit on the same lap as him, they're going to probably try to stretch it. So I'm going to act like we are racing them for the win because I feel like they have a chance to make it. We guaranteed can make it. They have a chance, but the guys that pit before Kenseth, like Biffle, those guys, Gordon, Johnson, they got no chance of making it now as Jack Sprague and Sterling Marlin go back through to the lead of this race with 4 laps to go. It's crazy how much of a back and forth kind of battle we're having here for the front few positions in Talladega now, but I mean, there's so much uncertainty. Is there going to be a caution? Who's going to pit? Who's not? Who's going to try and stretch it? It's so much uncertainty right now that it's just like, I don't even know how to react now, as we actually are going to get hung out here into turn 3 as Benson goes to the middle now. Kenseth's up on the outside, and through goes Kyle Petty. In comes Ken Schrader on the exit of turn 4, but I am in trouble because through all this, I am now at the back of this group, and I would lose the draft to Matt Kenseth, who's 5th in line, and all of a sudden, I mean, we're coming to 3 to go, and we've got no connection anymore. We're coming to 2 laps to go now as we exit turn 4, and it looks like we've got cars coming into the pits one more time. Who is that on the inside? I believe Johnny Benson and Kyle Petty coming in. So we move back up into P4 as Bodine eventually gets to me and starts pushing me as we hit 2 laps to go into turn number 1. Smoke on the inside, that's Sadler. Caution's gonna come out with 2 laps to go as we were running down Sterling Marlin at a huge pace. I wonder if he was running out of fuel. Caution's out, and now we're gonna go to NASCAR overtime where everybody is gonna pit but me because we can make it. And now as well, actually, we do have other drivers stay out because they were already in the pit lane and had made their pit stop. So we are all of a sudden coming into NASCAR overtime, leading this race. Who's up here in the conversation? Kyle Petty. Bill Elliott directly behind me has been in position to win a few times this season and has thrown. Can he maybe make it happen here as we head down into turn number 1, lap 68 of 69. Terrible restart for Kyle Petty, and now it's going to be a Ford, a Dodge, and a Chevrolet. Your top 3, Michael Waltrip into the conversation as we head down this back straightaway now. We were talking earlier about Michael Waltrip and how he had won a race in Talladega in 2003. Johnny Benson is well up here in the conversation. Who's going to hang on? I know I'm at a disadvantage when I'm leading, so we are just going to have to hope for the best, quite simply enough. Just hoping, really, as we roll through 3, and nothing's happening. This is perfect. This is what we need. No one's able to build up anything on the second lane. If the second lane gets going, we're in trouble, but as of right now, it's completely dead. We command this field. We're leading, coming to the final lap in Talladega. The fuel light is on. We barely have enough fuel. Here comes the second lane, maybe. Waltrip splits the middle between him and Ward Burton as well, and now we're going to kind of cover that off a little bit now. I see Greg Biffle actually behind the number 9 of Bill Elliott as we exit turn 2, and again the second, the third lane evens dying as well as we head down this back straightaway. Hold on, momentum coming from the 15 of Waltrip. Who's going to get the run into turn 3? We need Bill Elliott to push us into turn number 3. Greg Biffle on my outside now as well. He is going to get just about connected with the 15 of Waltrip. No, he won't. We're 3 wide as we exit turn 4. I don't know if anyone's going to have anything. We don't have enough time. We're 3 wide for second, and Waltrip loves what he sees in his mirror because he's just going to laugh at us as we come through the tri-oval. Michael Waltrip on the final lap is going to steal the win in Talladega. Michael Waltrip, how about it? He takes victory as we end up P2 in Talladega, a career high result, but obviously it looked like briefly we might have a chance to pick up a win, and instead we have to watch the 15 go to victory lane instead. And that's career win number 3 for Waltrip. There's going to be a big point swing here because Jeff Gordon finished 37th. terrible. But we had that big point day we were looking for, and we actually end up P5 in the standings. Jimmy Johnson 12 points in front of Bill Elliott. Robbie Gordon actually back up into the third spot. Kenseth in P4. His consistency very similar to his 2003 championship season, keeping him in the conversation. Tony Stewart there in P6. Kurt Busch, Burton, Harvick, Mayfield, the top 10. Jeff Gordon is all the way down in 15th following today's episode. That does it for me. I think reality is going to really start hitting now as we hit the kind of really normal part of the season. It's going to get a lot more difficult. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.